Now that's some good compression. That's called a punch shot, by the way. Let's talk today about the biggest difference between your top players or top ball strikers and your high handicappers. Hello, my name is Brech Spradley. I'm the Director of Instruction and the owner of the Barton Creek Golf Academy at Barton Creek Resort and Spa in Austin, Texas. I'll tell you what I see. I've been teaching for 17 years, and probably the biggest difference between your good players and your high handicappers is the impact position, and let's really talk about what that means. When your top players are at impact, from this face-on view, let me grab a ball real quick and get set up to this ball. Their hands are much more in line with their front leg, which puts the left wrist in a flat position and the right wrist in a bent position. You can see there's a significant amount of forward handle lean of the shaft. What this also is doing at impact is it is taking loft off the club. This is an 8-iron, and so at impact, you can see I'm taking some loft off that club. That's why most of your good ball strikers tend to hit it further than many of your higher handicappers, because they are taking some loft off the club. So from that position, the handle's forward, left wrist is flat, right wrist is bent. We have 80 to 90% of the weight on the left foot, and the head is slightly on the back side of the ball. Okay, this is a hallmark position from a face-on view with your top players. What we see all the time with your higher handicappers from this face-on view is that the hands are much more in the center of the body at impact, or even the back leg. And as I do this, you can see the left wrist is in much more of a bent position, and the right wrist is in a flat or even an arch position. This is very hard to hit down on a golf ball and create that compression I just did on that punch shot. That's in an effort to scoop the ball off the ground. Now, from a down the line view, let's talk about the big differences. What you see with your top players from a down the line view, their body is much more rotated. Their right shoulder is lower or more towards the ball, and their right forearm is a little bit more bent. From this view with your higher handicap golfers, we typically see a lot more of the body stood up, the right shoulder higher from the ground, and the arms much straighter, okay? Which kind of corresponds to this look. So what I want to do today is I want to go through some drills specifically showing you how to hit a quality punch shot, because I know this is one shot that if you learn, you will improve your game. Let's get started. Okay, here we are. We're back. We're going to talk about how to improve that impact position and talk you through some drills. The first drill we have here is what we call an impact bag. You've probably seen this or heard of it. This is how we're going to utilize it for this drill. What you're going to do is you're going to set up with the back of the bag in the middle of your stance, or maybe just slightly forward a middle. Again, I've got an 8-iron. You can really use any iron, but I'd suggest like a 6-iron through a wedge. Set up to the bag and just hover it slightly above the ground, the club head. Now we're going to make about a half backswing, okay? And what we're going to really try to do is we're just going to really try to pull our hands through this bag as we turn our hips and shoulders into it and try to stick that club head in the middle of the bag. And as you see when I do that, my hands really get pushed forward and get that nice handle lean and that feeling of really putting a good smack on that golf ball. Okay, here we go. That gives you a feeling of how to really compress a golf ball. What I would suggest is doing that a few times to get the feeling. Now let's go to the second drill. What we've got here is we've got a line. I've taken white paint and drawn a line. Now you probably can't take paint out to your range or your club, but what I'd suggest if you can't do that is just get a T or a pencil and scrape a line in the ground to give you a reference of a line. And then what you want to do is you want to put a golf ball on the front edge of that line. I've got 3 balls here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, again, we're going to make that half back swing with the emphasis of really driving the golf ball into the ground. That's the biggest difference between your good ball strikers. Your good ball strikers strike down on the golf ball, not up on the golf ball. And what we're going to really try to do is, in this punch shot, this half backswing, drive this ball into the ground, and if we are successful with what we want to do, you can see my divot 4 to 5 inches past the line was after the strike of the ball. So my white line is still intact there. That's the goal, is to be able to set up some balls and kind of go along this line, hit that firm punch shot, and see if we can get all our divots on the front side of that line. I know that'll help. All right, let's go to a third drill to improve that impact position. This is called the board drill. What you want to do is you want to put a board down, 2x4. You can also use a head cover or wrap a towel up real tight. And then what you want to do is you want to put the golf ball about a grip length, or just start maybe an inch more than a grip length in front of the board. Okay? Okay. Now, after I do that, I want to set up to the golf ball. Again, our ball position's about in the middle or slightly forward of middle in our stance. This is where we want to be on most all of our stock shots with irons. And our main objective here, as we can tell, is to not hit this board. That'll be a wake-up call if we do that. All right, here we go. Firm punch shot. Okay, again, you can see my 4 to 5 inch divot, even 6 inches is okay, past the ball. If we're scooping it, or we're falling back, or we're trying to help that ball up in the air, this drill will show you that. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next drill. Okay, we're back with our 90-second web tip. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a great drill to work on to improve the mechanics of that punch shot. Let me go to my bag here. I'm going to pull out an alignment stick. You can find these now pretty much in any golf store now. They sell them. I'm going to take this alignment stick and I'm going to put it right through the butt of my club, right through the hole, right down into the shaft. Probably about halfway down the shaft. Okay? You want a good 1.5 to 2 feet of, alignment stick sticking out, and I would suggest probably 2 feet. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up, and I'm going to start small and get into that impact position that we talked about that your good players are in. And that's that handle forward position. What you can see is that the alignment stick is to the left of my rib cage. Now, this drill gives you immediate feedback when you do flip the club. We get hit right in the rib. Okay, so this creates a little bit of feel when you do it wrong. So here I'm going to go, I'm going to set up, I'm going to make a little small swing and turn through. That's like a short little punch shot. The alignment stick got around my body because I turned through and I didn't use much of the hands. This is a great drill to give you instant feedback if we're flipping that club.